Welcome to another Divided Imperia battle. Today's battle we have Miha playing as Egypt versus Kloondike playing as the Macedonians. Now Miha has actually quite a good skirmishing force here. He has 2 Judean archers. They can definitely deal with lightly armored targets. And then he also has a unit of Judean slingers so they can help against cavalry. He has 2 units of Peltas pikemen, 1 of each side, along with a Judean Terrestroi. So he has 3 Judean Terrestrois, 1 in the center. He has this Volksman unit, a good charge and armor piercing. And then he has 3 units of Sarissa Lancers. And where is this? He has a unit of elephants. Quite capable skirmishing force. He has good supporting troops. His Sarissa pikemen are inferior, but that's the trade-off you get. Every nation has its strengths and weaknesses. He has a very good skirmishing force though. Now Macedon, he is under Kloondike. He has taken his Sacred Squadron, it's 200 men. Macedon does have stronger bodyguard cavalry than an average Hellenistic nation. So he has 200 men in this unit, then 3 Sarissa Lancers. He has 4 units of Turusi Swordsmen. He has Agrianian Axemen, some White Shield Infantry. Both the Agrianians and the White Shield Infantry do have access to anti-elephants. And Kloondike is going to need the anti-elephants because the Egyptians do have access to elephants. So he needs to take that considerations. Kloondike do has a Scorpio to ward off cavalry, same as Egypt. So both have them. And but the Kloondike do have better pikemen in terms of the bronze pikemen. They will beat the native pikemen of the Egyptians. On the flanks though, these Peltas pikemen can't really do a lot of damage. Let's check out what happens. Now Kloondike is clearly having all his supporting, all his mobile troops are over here. And the pikemen are held back in a reserve line. They're now moving up with the Scorpio. And these 2 units of White Shield Infantry are clearly dedicated to being a defensive unit. Whilst there's a massive attack over here. Miha should be moving up here because he do have skirmishers. And the closer he can get to this enemy Scorpio, the better it is. This not firing yet. And these Judean archers should be behind the pike line, along with the slinger units. Don't have them just in front. If you're not gonna move at all, you can move up the pikes and get your archers. Because right now Kloondike is maneuvering his infantry, and Miha is mainly standing still. He's placing his cavalry over here to match the Macedonian cavalry. Kloondike has 1 cavalry over here as a flank guard. Here, the elephants are on this side. Now, these elephants could definitely be moved to the other side. There is matching support infantry for the Egyptians. It's just Thessalian, but then it means that the Egyptians would have a cavalry advantage. And the Scorpio is on this side, the Egyptian cavalry is over here. The Scorpio is now shooting. It is doing a lot of damage to this infantry, but it's mainly supposed to attack the cavalry of the enemy. You need what the Egyptians need to do. He needs to advance and turn his pikes sideways. Why sideways? Because otherwise, theoretically, Kloondike could have moved up his Tyrosi swordsmen, moved up, and then hit with the precursors on the Oxybelus. You need to sort of keep your skirmishers safe here. You're going to use them now. The Judean slingers are shooting at some of the White Shield infantry. Judean archers are also starting to fire, but they held their fire now. Now they're just standing here, they're not shooting. Get your Judean slingers up to here. Turn around, turn these pikes to face. You need to turn inwards here because there's a massive attack coming in here. And they will hit you on the unshielded side. You have the Peltas pikemen unit, but these men don't have precursors. The white shield infantry are now hurling at the Judeans, and the Judeans slingers are dropping. And this will also mean reduced firepower on the slingers now when the once the cavalry starts to move in. Scorpio is moving a little bit backwards, but moving this Scorpio back is a bit of a mistake. Turn inwards over here. The Judean slingers are shooting a little bit, but now the white shield infantry are charging in. These slingers did not retreat in time. Because Kloondike didn't take any archers of his own, he has more flanking power than what the Egyptians have. Egypt needs to turn inwards to deny the flank here. These Judean Tirusi spears are just standing here and absorbing the charge of these white shield infantry. The Tirusi, no, the white shield infantry are attacking first. Now the Tirusi swordsmen with their increased skirmishing power are charging in. The Judean archers here are hitting the unshielded side of these Tirusi swordsmen, so well done in exploiting that. However, there's a lot more infantry here for the Macedonians than what Miha has the Egyptians has available to him. They're now hitting the unshielded side of these Tirusi spears. There's a lot of ammunition here. The Scorpio needs to be moved this way because you need to counter the cavalry coming in here. The Exubellus is just creeping in here. The pikemen are taking ground. That you can see now that this Scorpio is now starting to shoot. It is hitting these Volksmen, but if this Scorpio wanted to, he could move it up to here. But because of the archers, Kloondike is keeping his distance, and this acts as a flank guard anyway. Kloondike has an advantage on this flank. He doesn't need to push on this side. He's turning inwards, as you can see. There's a lot of infantry coming in here. They're exploiting the gaps over here. Miha should have turned inwards here. He is shooting with his archers, but it's not enough. These Peltas pikemen are just standing here, and they now, Tirusi swordsmen are coming in here to pin this one in place. Yes, this one is in a short pike formation, and they're very good. But Kloondike doesn't even engage here. He just goes through this gap. Now Egyptian cavalry is coming in here. These Tirusi swordsmen and the Agranians took a lot of beating from these Sarissa lancers. However, these Sarissa lancers must pull out because they don't have armor, so they can't really fight in a close melee. And now it's why you should turn inwards. The Macedonian cavalry is here. Now the Macedonian infantry is blocking this cavalry from charging, and these Peltas pikemen are very tough. Like they will hold, but now it's just a red. If Kloondike wanted to, he could pop a scare on this Peltas pikeman and rout it, make it waver, and then potentially rout. The Egyptian general is coming in here against the Sarissa lancers. Let's see who wins this one. The Sarissa lancers did do a number, but they lost more. Now Egypt's Sarissa lancers are just gonna keep charging. The Agranians got that javelin volley off, but now they were not braced. However, this Egyptian Sarissa lancers are now routing. The Judean Tirusi are being flanked. These Peltas pikemen are holding their own though, for now. They're facing these royal Peltas pikemen. Like now these Tirusi are disengaging because they are getting slaughtered. So you can just keep turning this short pike to face whatever you want to face. Macedon is being, like he could have moved up, like he's just denying the flank here because he's winning over here. It's just a matter of chess, like denying piece by piece. The more units you have, the more flanking power you have. Now there's a the elephants are coming in here, but there's also some white shield infantry that are supposed to deal with the elephants. The Sarissa Lancers are now dealing with the Egyptian Scorpio. This Judean Tourousi is just standing here. The native pikemen are now moving up against the Sarissa, the bronze pikemen, but they're just setting themselves up for a hammer and anvil. There's not much support now for Egypt. Main flaw of Egypt was not really moving his infantry and adapting to the situation. He had too many skirmisher units, and also those Volksmen are good, but they did not really they wouldn't face much armor piercing. And Ptolemaic swordsmen are better than Tourousi swordsmen. His Peltas pikemen are now moving in here, and that's a good attack because this Oxybelis is nearby. However, it won't really turn the tide of the battle, as the unfortunately the battle is pretty much over. His Peltas pikemen is standing in here in a threatening manner. We should definitely charge in because this battle is over anyway. The native pikemen are inferior to bronze pikemen, so now the enemy support infantry and cavalry are now charging in against the pikemen. But these Peltas pikemen did hold for a very long time, considering what they were facing like from all sides. They are still holding up. They're still very, very useful. Now the white shield infantry is charging in, and the Agrianian axemen are doing it also. However, now these pikemen have turned against the Agrianians, but it also means these bronze pikes can now push forward against the Sarissa pike. Sarissa Lancers were breaking this unit. They have like a 4 bonus versus infantry, so it gives them an attack of 17 once in actual combat. Sarissa Lancers, however, have low armor, so if they were actually facing and the other infantry was actually fighting against it, it would have killed off Sarissa Lancers, giving them a less powerful charge next time. It's still a very good charge. These 63 attack are just breaking off these native pikes. Now these bronze pikemen are moving in, and they're just stabbing these Ptolemaic phalangites in the rear. Yeah, this pipeline is being routed. These Peltas pikemen are winning their side against the white shield infantry, and they're fighting with swords, as you can clearly see. So Peltas pikemen they're exactly like the royal Peltas. They just don't have precursors, and they can form a pike phalanx, a short pike phalanx, and they will butcher anything from a distance. But unfortunately for them, they will still die to this charge. There's just the rest of the Egyptian army is pretty much routing anyway. So, but you get 256 men with a short pike unit than what you would have done with a royal Peltas. So that's also a part of the reason why you should take a short pike if you have access to it. Kloondike didn't do that. He went for numbers. He went because he also took into consideration the elephants that each would have to take. He knew he had better pikemen overall anyway. Good game to both players. Yeah, Egypt just simply took too many skirmishers and it could not really stand up to all of this support infantry. And you can clearly see that the Scorpio is designed to fight against cavalry. Now this Kloondike's got more kills of his Scorpio than what Egypt managed to do. These Peltas pikemen did very well, considering they were heavily outnumbered on the flank. Just like these pikemen, however, would always lose to bronze pikemen, so he needed to win the support. That was very good kills on these white shield infantry. And the Acrianians did also very well. And now when facing Macedon, you know that you're mainly gonna face lighter infantry like these Tirusi swordsmen or the white shield infantry. They're both lightly armored. You don't really have to worry about having armor-piercing weapons on these men. Tirusi spears, yeah, they have some armor, but Ptolemy have access to light swords that are better than the Tirusi swordsmen, and they have 15 armor. So you have a higher survivability. You have the same kind of weapon damage and all that, but you have 15 in melee defense. Now, the Tirusi swordsmen have 14 in melee defense, but you have more armor on your men. And now there's native pikemen over here. Like they will lose to bronze pikes, absolutely. But all of a sudden, if you just dropped a couple of skirmishers, now you have more anti-infantry capability, and you still have access to a Judean archer. The Scorpio should have been firing at the enemy cavalry mainly, and like adapt your line to what the enemy is doing. If you see a strong flank, he has superior support troops on that side. You have to deny the enemy that side and attack either the other one, or you try to reinforce the side where the enemy is attacking. But that could cost you time. Try to bait in enemy cavalry. Like Scorpio is supposed to attack cavalry. You have the elephants. These elephants can definitely deal with Tirusi swordsmen. Just pin the enemy down. Royal Peltas pikemen, very good. Will kill light infantry very easily. Frontally, they held for quite a while, even though they were flanked. Also, Judean Tirusi also very good. They have more armor, so they won't lose. They won't die as quickly. Just don't let them get rear and flank charge. These Tirusi swordsmen, well, I mean these Ptolemaic swordsmen would definitely have fought off the Tirusi swords. Just turned inwards. You still have this Judean archer that could have potentially been firing at the Scorpio, or add more firepower and hit the Sarissa lancers of the enemy. Or yeah, you could have like made a harassment mission with these Judean archers, because most troops on that side, the enemy side, didn't really have any. Yeah, this Judean archer could have definitely fired at the light. He did. Like Miha did fire at the unshielded side. That was not the problem. It just lacked the proper support troops to deal with the Macedonians. So Kloondike took advantage of that. He had more troops, overloaded that side, broke through, and he were defensive with his pikemen and 2 white shield infantry. He saw where the elephants were, and he adapted accordingly. The bronze native pikemen could never be offensive against the bronze pikemen anyway, so Kloondike just held back his bronze pikes. Just pinned them in place. He knew he was having a great advantage anyway. So thank you for watching this, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.